Hello, hello. We are back again. Welcome to the Oshimare Learning Podcast. My name is Portia Michelle Oshimare. I am one half of the Oshimare crew, holding it down solo today. Coming back to complete our State of 2026 seasonal podcast. So this series has been all about gathering as many folks as I can to talk about each one of the 7 areas of business and what we're seeing as some trends that are coming up for 2026 for my business owners, particularly my business owners who want to do real good with their business, regardless of what that good looks like, being committed to contributing to the world at large with the business that you do, whether in the offers and services or in the money that it makes and where it goes, or in the environment and the culture that you create with the organization that you create for the people who work in it. Those of us who care about doing real good with our businesses. This series is dedicated to y'all, dedicated to the ones I love, dedicated to y'all, and dedicated to y'all in the place to look at. We've looked at every single area of business, from soul work to leadership, to client experience, to marketing, to operations, to finance. This is our 7th and last podcast, and today we are talking about sales. This is the People Podcast. And as a expert peopler, and somebody who's out in these streets having actual conversations with people consistently all the time, actively networking every single day of every month of every year, I'm excited to bring you some market research, I guess, of things that I'm seeing, trends that are happening in community, things that I'm hearing people ask for that they're craving, as well as things that I'm seeing that you can do right now to improve how you're going to be approaching sales in general for this next year of 2026. So I've got some trends for you, and some things I wanted you to think about. So now when I say sales, I also want to give some frame to what I mean by the sales area of your business. So the sales area of your business is what I call the community workhorse. And I think that it's incredibly imperative, particularly coming into this year, that we are thinking about sales like community building. Every time someone says yes to an offer, product, or service, they are in community with you, whether you know it or not. So you might as well act accordingly. And particularly, good God forbid, there's 3 or 4 of them mofos that decide to say yes. Community with each other, whether you've decided to call them a community or not, whether you have a little group for them to be in to look at each other or not, they are in community. And that includes all of the collaborators that you work with, all of the co-conspirators that love the same movements that you do and they have their businesses and organizations aligned with that. That's referral partners, that's business partners. All of these people are a part of the sales area of your business, and the responsibility that you have as the leader in your business. This may be your role within the business. It may not be, right? But understanding what is your role as a part of generating new relationships and nurturing the relationships that you've generated, right? Those responsibilities, for those of us who have small teams, right? That responsibility may land with you as the CEO of a small organization, right? You may be on a department, right? That affects that. But in general, the thing I want you to be thinking through in this conversation today is, how am I building my community? How am I generating new relationships that create new opportunities in my world? How am I nurturing relationships that create opportunities in my world? And what is my process for going about the business of that? So that's what we're really going to be talking about today in sales. If you've got questions of well, but how many sales calls should I have? And I seem to be struggling to convert, or I'm unsure what to say on a sales call to get someone to see that what I'm doing is of value and say yes, whether that's to refer it or to purchase it. Those are going to be things I would highly suggest you come and see me in office hours around. I host an office hour every single month, sometimes 2 or 3 times a month. This month, we're hosting 5 times a month. Literally, this Thursday, February 5th, we're going to be talking specifically about sales and marketing. So if this is you, that's a great place for you to drop into. We'll be gathered from 4 to 6 p.m. PST on February 5th, 2026, having a conversation about sales and marketing. So that could be a great place. But I'm also, I have an office hour last Friday of every month at 2 p.m. PST. Bring me those questions if you've got them. I have them available for my Business Cousins community and support squad. If you're wondering what Business Cousins and Squad is, and you want to get some office hours too, come on down, right? Go check the links in the places where the links are, to get some more information about Business Cousins. But I also have my office hours available to the public. They're like $97 if you're not a member. If you're a member, they're free. They're like $97. Come ask some of these sales questions, because we won't really be getting into that today. Today is going to be all about the relationship, how we nurture, how we generate, and the trends that are coming in relationship. As we are coming into this year, right, again, as in all of these sessions, we've talked a lot about the year of the fire horse. We've talked a lot about the Aquarius energy that's coming in over the next 20 years. There's a lot of planets moving into air and moving into fire that have been in earth and have been in water. So we're going to see a different kind of inertia coming into this year. And with this many, those of us also who are in community, we love a good Sacred Seven. We love using astrology as a part of looking at how we navigate our businesses, human design, wealth dynamics, Gene Keys. We cycle sync our businesses over here. We use our life story as data over here, right? So I'm referencing these things because these are things that we use as tools, and I would highly encourage you to find a data point inside of one of those modalities that matters to you to also use as a tool. One of those tools I'm going to be talking about today is all of these planets moving into Aquarius, and all of this Aquarius energy has meant that I'm sure you've seen out here on the internet streets that this is going to be a year for community, whether you're tapped in astrologically or not. I am sure that you have heard people being like, I'm starved for community. I'm looking for community. I'm wanting to connect. I'm tired of being in these computers. Where are we hanging out in person? Who do I know for real? Who's my people for real? I know that they're not my people for real. There is a lot of that coming into this year. And again, you've heard me say until I'm blue in the face, we are still actively in this trust recession, right? Where people are looking for, who can I trust? Do I trust? Where can I trust? Who is still relevant in my life, right? What matters, what doesn't? What are my tells that help me to know that somebody's value aligned? All of that is going to be loud in the collective in this next year. And you better believe, as business owners, it's going to be showing up in how we sell and in how we grow community for our business. What happens on the outside, we don't get skipped, right? These collective shifts affect how everyone communicates, which will then affect how we communicate, particularly how we communicate about our businesses. So there are some things I want us to highlight in there, and I want you to be listening from, right? Is this showing up for me? Am I seeing this in my world? And is there something I want to do about it? You may not want to do nothing about any of this, but just listen and feel like, good to know. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be aware, right? Or you may be like, ooh, this is in my stuff. I'm seeing this in my relationships. This may be a time for me to take some different action now, before the spring equinox happens, before this big energy to pull me forward will be available. Okay? Things I want you to be thinking about. So, first big theme that's been coming up for me in the sales area of business is genuine connection first. Something I've been yelling about since last year is relationship before request. This is going to be a year where you really want to think through, how am I creating genuine connections with the people in front of me, whether they are new to me or whether I am nurturing a relationship with somebody that I already know. How do I keep that connection, that spark, genuine? This is a very good year to look for low stakes connection points. Again, I've been saying, so I'm blue in the face, this is a year for low stakes. This is the year for easy. This is the year to not have so much in your hand that you're not open and available to receive new things. So easy, low stakes, slow down the process, date a little, and make the connections genuine. So again, genuine connection before any transaction. And that doesn't have to take long. I used to work at a coffee shop for years. Retail coffee shop, I won't name names, you know what it's called. 4 years, 15 years altogether, honestly, of doing that, going from beginning level all the way up to about as high as you can go. Putting myself into positions to go even higher than some of those corporate places. I cannot tell you how often I was surprised at how quickly I could make a genuine connection. Right? I would be making connection points with people that were unforgettable to me, and I hear over the years were unforgettable to them in 30 seconds, a minute and a half flat. So it doesn't have to be something super duper deep, but it does have to be something genuine, right? It looks like, hey, I see that we went to college in the same city. Like, did you ever go back? Oh, I never go back, or oh, I still live in that same city. Oh, tell me what XYZ was like. Oh, da 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 da, right? Maybe that was a 2 minute conversation, but the connection was genuine. And it gives me something to anchor back into that says, oh, we're here and we're connected at this point. So, one thing I would highly encourage everyone to do is before you go to sit down in front of anybody in front of you, start to map going in, what are my connection points? What are the easy points of conversation that I know that we can find a common ground? Particularly if you are of the more introverted set. You know, I hear this all the time. Portia, I'm not like you. I can't just show up and talk to anybody about anything. The easiest way to be able to get some comfort for yourself is to map those connection points. You got a connection call on your calendar, go look the person up. Go see what's up with them. Go do the due diligence of respecting them enough to know what you're walking into and map out 3 or 4 connection points that will allow you to start to build human relationship before you get to whatever you're going to request of them. Like I said before, this is a year where trust is going to be up for negotiation for a lot of people. Let people feel like they can trust you, even in slight amounts, before they decide whether they're going to do anything for you. Whether that's give you money, whether that's introduce you to people who are going to give you money, whether that's introducing you to opportunities that's going to introduce you to people who are going to give you money. And or any other opportunity that they have the ability to open the door from. Before you make a request, be sure that you have built a relationship. And if you know it's a big request, please, 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 in this year, consider the level of request that you make needs to be the level of relationship that you have and or the level of relationship that you can leverage. So if you need somebody to say a big yes to you, and the yes matters a lot to you, and it may cost them a lot, mean that they have to put some real skin in the game, mean that they have to co-sign you in some way, mean that they have to push an RFP through on your behalf, right? A proposal on somebody else's desk for you, right? If they have to get their boss involved, like they have to do something that would be considered a pretty big yes, make sure your relationship matches that request. Make sure they know you, like you, trust you enough to do the thing that you need them to do on your behalf, or make sure you have a co-signer of someone else that they know, like, and love enough to do it on their behalf, and they know that the two of you are affiliated, so that you can walk into those requests with some relationship leverage. Do not be the kind of, I've heard so many clients say to me, this is the right offer for the right person. I do not understand why they're not saying yes. And I'm like, well, how many conversations did you have? Well, I told them about it within the first 15 minutes and they told me that they had the problem and they filled out 3 Calendly questions. And I'm like, it sounds like you rushed the intimacy and you rushed the relationship elements and you didn't let them really feel like you got to know them, so that they could not see that the thing that you have that actually is for them is a great opportunity for them. You don't know enough. And I think that this is another real big theme, again, I want us to be thinking through, is start to slow down this relationship process so that people feel really seen. Again, in a year that's going to have a lot of chaos, a lot of coming and going, it's going to matter a lot that people feel like you genuinely care about what's going on with them. And one of the only ways to do that is to have actual data and information. And if you don't know these people, then they're right to say that they feel like they're not ready to make a buying decision yet, or they're not ready to refer you yet, because you didn't actually make sure that you know them. You know, and oftentimes you ain't gonna hit it in 15 minutes. They may not be getting it from your content, right? I think this is also going to be a year where normally, previously in a marketing conversation, a lot of people will say, well, I make a good amount of social media content so people can pre-binge that before they get into this conversation. People ain't binging social media like they used to no more, because social media is loud and some people are completely opting out of certain social media platforms. So you can't assume that just because you're creating a lot that people are consuming a lot. So you may also want to think through, are there parts of your sales process that would be supported by some sort of sales asset that helps to build intimacy quickly, right? Again, I love, love, love. You're going to hear me until I'm blue in the face. Shout out to my Hello Audio family. I love a private podcast at this current moment in time. You are hearing a podcast at this current moment in time. It is low stakes for me to produce. It is low stakes for my very busy entrepreneur audience to consume. They already enjoy consuming stuff there. So if you got entrepreneurs as a part of who you're going to be reaching out to as a part of growing your network in your community, private podcast works great. Little mini videos, personalized videos still work great, right? An email that says, hey, before we get on a call, I just wanted to make sure to send you a little message to let you know what you can expect. Those things work great, right? Consider, are there little sales assets? My bad, I can't be talking with my hands and it's ashy. Are there little sales assets that you could create that make connection feel easier, that make intimacy happen faster, that help you to be able to feel like people really get a feel for you and you get a feel for them before we make any requests? Because this is going to be a year, another big trend that I'm seeing. Build your freaking network. Build your freaking network this year. This is going to be a year I wouldn't play with it. Money is still moving, but money has a new attitude. You know, it's giving a little pat on the belt set. Money has a new attitude. It is moving interestingly, and this year it's likely going to be moving in new ways with new people in new pathways that it has never really done for most people. Like, most people are going to be finding clients in ways they never thought that they would, and most people are going to find that their normal pathways to finding clients, their normal relationships aren't hitting at the same level that they used to. So this is going to be a really good year for coalitions and collaborations. Truly, this is going to be, again, I would highly suggest that every entrepreneur that I speak to have 2 or 3 networks that you can go to that are generative, right? Have networks that you can go to that bring you new referral partners. Have networks that you can go to that can bring you new ideal clients. Have networks that you can go to that will bring you opportunity openers. Folks who can say, I've got a friend who's got an event that needs a speaker. I've got a sponsor that wants to pay for some sort of workshop to be created for a community. I've got a project that, you know, is outside my range, and I'd love for you to come and work on this project with me. I've got a client who wants a couple of subject matter experts to come in and do a panel. Would you be open to doing a panel with me, right? Like, opportunity openers. Every opportunity that you want for yourself and your business is on the other end of a relationship with a person. Who are the networks that are full of those people who can open up those doors for you? And how can you be deepening your human connection with those networks now, so that when opportunities come up on their radar, you're one of the first people's names that they consider? Even if you're not sure what the request is at the moment, great, even better, just build the relationship. And sometimes we don't know why we want to be connected to somebody, but they feel like home. They feel really good at the moment. Our intuition, for some reason, feels like we should be building with them. For that, those people, start building human, personal relationships and ask real questions. What matters to you in 2026? Are there any doors that I can open for you? You know, what matters to me in 2026? Are there any doors you can open for me? Be honest and open about what that conversation looks like. But start with, how you doing for real? What's real for you? What would help me to show up great for this relationship? Are there anything that would help you show up great for this relationship? Human first, and then request. But then, when we're ready for requests, make sure you've built some relationships that can hold those requests. Make sure you've got some people who open up opportunities a phone call away, that you're not going to have to go find them. If you're in the big group and you haven't done the one-on-ones yet, just do the one-on-ones. Just cut the fat. All right, these are the 5 people in this group that I super fucks with. These are the 10 people in this group I super don't. Bet. Next, right? Like, be clear about who your resources are in community. Be networked with them on a regular basis so that a phone call away when the opportunity comes is already right there. That is fantastic work to spend the winter and the spring of 2026 doing. From, February until like May is a fantastic time to be finding networks, getting in relationships, getting one-on-ones on the calendar. Start seeing that your next opportunities that you want for the summer and the fall are likely hanging around you already. The other big thing I want you all to do when we're talking about that is leverage who already likes you. The people who you already like, I promise you right now, if I ask you, you got one people-y person in your community that's in all the networking things. Ask them, what networking thing should I be in based on where you already are? Here's what matters to me. Here are the kind of people I'm interested in being connected to. Do you have any suggestions? Start with who already likes you and ask them to refer you to people. Ask them to refer you to situations. Ask them, right, where we can start to look. Start with the people you already like and build from there. Again, this is going to be a year that people who are well networked are going to do better, because traditional marketing is going to be interesting because of what's happening with social. And we don't really know where the ball's going to drop on that. And a lot of us have a lot of our client acquisition attached to our ability to be able to navigate social. And that's going to get weird for the next couple of months. Not saying it's impossible. It's just weird. And again, the human connection piece is not going to become any less relevant. Whether they found you on social, they still got to talk to your face at some point. And or, again, depending on the right opportunities. You may not be somebody who's selling direct to consumer through sales calls if you've got a product or something, but you may still be needing to build relationships to get that product, leveraged in other markets and other places. The networking and referral relationships that you may need to build, right? The corporate partners and sponsorship relationships that you may need to build. This is a very good year for that. Ooh, one theme I did not write down, but that I can mention here. This is also going to be a year, my entrepreneurs, you better get a little corporate savvy. My corporate people, you better get a little bit of entrepreneur savvy. This is going to be a year where there is a lot of us are finding a lot of financial resonance in the corporate space in ways that wasn't there before, because of, particularly in America, how complex the last couple of months have been, of people getting laid off, of people, having to drastically shift what's happening inside of the corporations, and not really having enough help to still solve the problems that are available, whether you had to lay these people off or not. And so we're seeing corporate hiring more consultants than they normally do. We're seeing corporate spaces getting more interested in the culture creation that they're doing, which provides more opportunities for the average entrepreneur to enter in to the corporate spaces. On the other side of that, we are seeing people get laid off. We are seeing people get their hours reduced. We are seeing people have to be cross-trained, or being, in one industry working for a really long time, and then all of a sudden needing to enter into another industry with that skill set. As a corporate person, if you were somebody who's had a corporate job for 200 years and you still are in a corporate job, you better be thinking about, what is my financial plan if I lose this job? And being connected to networks of entrepreneurs that could throw you a quick consulting job here, that could bring you in on something there in between finding a new job or finding somewhere that feels more resonant for you, is going to be really beneficial for you too. I think that sometimes we can be in a silo where the entrepreneur girlies don't talk to the corporate girlies and vice versa. This ain't the year for that. This is the year to be coalition building. Bring from across and come on into the room together, and be thinking through how we can be opening up doors for one another. This is going to, again, be a year where the quality of your business is likely going to come down to the quality of the relationships that are around you, and what kind of leverage of opportunities the people who are around you can do. So this is also a really good time to skip ponds. If the people who you look at around you cannot open the doors for you that you need, it may be time to spend less time in those communities and more time in communities that are full of people who can open up those opportunities. And it ain't just people who make more money than you. It's got to also be people who are willing to open a door for you. I think that oftentimes also I see people be like, I need to get an elevated clientele. I'm going to start looking at people who could pay me, the amount of money that I want to get paid individually, right? And they go in those rooms and they don't like them people. The people ain't nice. They aren't opening, welcoming. Or kind of like, you can't sit with us. Some of us I've heard quite a few of my homies talk about feeling like that mean girl energy. Someone said the other day, these women are 60. I can't understand how they're still mean girls. Well, again, don't make up a story about what people are like that, are making more money than the people who you're currently serving. Go actually meet them and see if you like them. And if the case is that you don't, right, there are many other groups of people who make more money that you will like. Go find them, right? And there are also different ways that you can get those money and those resources if you really want to work with certain communities. And that's a story for another day. Come ask me in office hours, and I'm happy to deepen into that as a conversation. And see if there's anything else that I wanted to say about that. In that same lane, go to in the same lane of going to the places where people can open doors for you. Be a door opener. This is also going to be a year where I really want you not to underestimate the relationships that you've already built. Is there a resource you can introduce someone to? Is there a person you can introduce someone to? Are you really well tapped in with your local library? And someone in your space is always looking for an event space, and you can recommend the library. And that's me. I'm always like, do you know in Las Vegas, you can rent a room in the library for like $30 an hour? And they all come with kitchens. Like that's my gift, a gate opener that I can always give to people. And I think that is something I want you to be thinking through. Are you a gate opener, and can you open up gates for another person? Right? Can you be somebody who opens up doors for people? Can you be somebody that nurtures relationships for people? Can you be somebody that supports people in being able to further the relationships that open up opportunities for them as a way of making sure the opportunities are always being opened for you? Okay? I think that is that. Let me see if there's anything else I want to make sure to say. Okay, last thing to say in here as well. When we talk about lowering the stakes, I've been talking about this, I feel like, again, until I'm blue in the face, about lowering the stakes, about dating, relationship, right? Whether or not the personal or professional, slow down the intimacy gather. Let people consent in little bits over and over, right? This was a great discovery conversation. I consent to learning more about your product. This was a great conversation about learning about your product. I consent to seeing what it could look like for me to purchase it, right? Like letting people say yes in smaller doses and slowing down that process will really serve a lot of us in our relationship building in 2026. I want you all to be thinking through also, don't marry everybody on the first round. This is going to be a good year to grow your group of associates. Grow your group of associates. Now, for those who are listening to me that are single and are like, don't you dare tell me I'm not going to get married this year. I didn't say that. We're talking about business. We are talking about business. In business, right? And this may be a year that you find your business partners, but I want you to date them before you marry them. Right? This may be a year you find new amazing referral partners, new amazing clients. Date them before you marry them. Make sure the resonance is there. Make sure they like you, and this is the right time to be doing whatever y'all are doing. Make sure you like them, and this is the right time and the right container to do whatever it is that you are doing. Slow that process down. If you look to grow your network of business associates, right? These are people who are grateful to see your name come across their screen, can likely have opportunities to introduce you to, that you enjoy them and they enjoy you, and it is still at a little bit of a distance. That would be good work. Grow your associates. And then anybody that's in the associate level right now, start to consider, do I want to give them more intimacy, more access, more proximity to me and what it is that I do because I'm wanting to deepen down on that relationship? Or are they great right where they are? Many of us know personally that you would be blessed in your lifetime to have 3 to 5 amazing people in your world and your friends or in your family that really know you deeply, that really got your back. 3 is a blessing. 5 is abundance. You know what I mean? 2 is a godsend. It's kind of the same thing professionally, right? You're going to have your inner circle of people who really got your back, who always send you the best referrals, who you always send the best referrals, who, y'all end up trying to do conferences together. Maybe you guys piece up on products and things together. That group being small actually works in your favor. The larger group that you have should be associates, should be people who they don't have as much access to you, so that as whatever goes on with them, their reputation doesn't reflect your reputation. Because that's a podcast for another day, but we'll talk about it. Come talk to me about it in office hours if you're feeling it. Right? 1. 2, you can kind of watch them and watch how they move before you let them into your bosom, before you let them into your hen house, before you see if what you got going on is beneficial to their hen house, right? So that's the other loud thing that I just want to make sure happens in this year. Grow your group of business associates. Most entrepreneurs that I meet, most leaders that I meet are under-networked drastically. Interestingly enough, the corporate girlies got y'all down on that. The corporate girlies I meet are like fantastically networked. Most of the entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, creatives that I meet are drastically under-networked. And they're sometimes surrounded by a lot of people, but those people can't open up the doors for them. What's the point? What's the point, sister? What's the point? Right? It's got to be people to whom you are a benefit to, and they are a benefit to you from a business perspective for it to make dollars and it to make sense. Now, don't get me wrong, not all relationships need to be transactional. However, every relationship needs to be generative. Generative in some way, right? Opening up something in some way for you or for them. Okay? So, those are my conversations about sales for this year. I really want you all to just think about these things. See if it lands. See if there's anything that you're like, ooh, this is in my space. I want to do something about that. Or I hope right now people's names are sparking to you like, ooh, this person is lovely. I would love to spend more time with them this year. Or, ooh, I want to, we always said that we would refer one another, but we didn't put a system in place for referral. I'm going to send them an affiliate link. Let me go make a little something on Stripe, right? Like, these people are folks that every time I get with them, like they give me some insight or aha about the business that I didn't even think about. Let me see if we can get a quarterly gathering on the calendar or a monthly gathering, or I'm going to join that networking group. I'm finally going to come on down to Business Cousins, right? Whatever it is, kids, find it. This is the year to do it. And this conversation around power dynamics in community power, the people power isn't going anywhere. We are beginning a 20-year cycle with this. So now is a good time, if you're in it for the long haul, to start to strengthen this skill set. Introverted or not, we got to get you peopling, because that's all business is peopling on a variety of levels. Okay, so find your comfort with this conversation. I am a resource to you and available to you. If you need me, you know where to find me. Links in the bio of all of the things, of how you can get a call with me, of how you can come on office hours. Come on down. We got a variety of folks in community that can support you with this conversation, okay? Either way, have a fantastic 2026. Build relationships that matter. Be someone who is generative in your relationships, and be in relationships that are generative to you on the business level specifically. Right? Let's cut the fat. This is a year to make sure that you're tripling down on what works, that we're cutting out what doesn't, so that you can show up your full self. And like I said, have some hands that are empty to receive some new people, some new blessings. New blessings for your breasts. I don't know. Have your hands open to receive some new people, some new blessings, some new opportunities, and catch some of these fiery, chaotic miracles that are going to be up in the air, that are available for people who are doing real good with their businesses. We are going to come the fuck up this year, y'all. Those of us who have been sowing seeds of good are going to reap some harvest in this year. Make sure your hands are open and you're in the right communities to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, okay? See you all next time. Thank you so much for also coming to this series. This State of 2026 series was an idea and a labor of love that really came together better than I could have expected. So more podcasts like this coming soon, friends. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of our beta round. And again, thank you for caring about the relationships that support contribution-focused businesses. It matters so much. Matters so much. Have a fantastic rest of your 2026. You know where to find me if you want to have more of these conversations. This is going up, you can find our YouTube, Ocean Money Learning YouTube channel as well to be in conversation around some of these podcast episodes. We are actively in the comments, so if you've got questions and things of that nature on any of these episodes, comment on YouTube. We will be in conversation with you there. And again, have a wonderful year. I'll see you all next time.